So I think the Bills will win the division. But I do think, Nick, just objectively looking at it, that there are enough question marks about Buffalo to where you could put the Patriots in. Now, the Patriots' schedule is a monster.
Bills' schedule is almost as hard.
Yeah, Bills has got to be close. But with you got a new head coach, and we've seen. I think Brady's going to be fine. But we have seen great coordinators that weren't great head coaches. He's in the same place. You would think it'll go well, but it's still a question mark. Defensively, there is no doubt Sean McDermott was a huge part of that defense because they had injury after injury after injury, seemingly year after year, and he kept them atop the league defensively, or, in the top 10 every year in the regular season. So that is a big question mark. Okay. They still don't have a number one receiver. Maybe they'll get one, but right now they don't. And so I don't, like, this year we've been saying this wasn't their best team, but this was their best opportunity since the Chiefs are out. Well, what's changed other than coaching turmoil? So I just think there are a lot of questions about them where I don't think you should objectively put them number one in the division.
So the schedule piece is really interesting because as tough as the Pats schedule is, and some of that is home road stuff, and I don't have the Bills road schedule committed to memory. Because of the way the NFL scheduling works, the Bills and Patriots play the exact same games except for your 3 strength of schedule games. And as it happens, so the 3 divisions that the Patriots play the winners of, I bet this side of the table is going to be like, oh, damn, second place might be tougher.
Yeah.
So where the Patriots have the Jags, the Bills have the Texans.
Not good.
Where the Patriots have Pittsburgh, the Bills have Baltimore. And where the Patriots have Seattle, the Bills have the Rams, which are 2 excellent. So to me, they have basically identical difficulty of schedule. And so it really comes down to, do you think is either of these teams likely to take a big step forward next year? I would say no. Is either of these teams likely to take at least a somewhat significant step back? And that's where I will say yes to the Patriots.
Oh, because I'm shocked.
So this is where the playoff run impacts my projection.
Okay.
I am less confident that when you play this level of schedule, you are going to get consistent A-level quarterback play.
But what I do know is that you have way more confidence in Josh Allen being consistently great and being consistently elite season after season after season in a way that Drake May has not deserved to have that, to have that part of his resume because he's never done it. Josh Allen has year after year after year. Josh Allen is the best quarterback in the NFL. And I'm going to be making another video, I think probably tonight, and I'll post it tomorrow because I don't have to put together all this data, and it's kind of stressing me out. And I got to think of how far I want to go back because I got to do it. I'm going to have to do it for lots of quarterbacks to prove why Josh Allen is indeed the best quarterback in the NFL. So I got to figure out how I want to do that. Like I said, it's stressing me out, but the slander of Josh Allen is just so obnoxious, and the downplaying of Josh Allen's greatness is just so obnoxious. But with all that to the side, it just makes sense that if you're looking at the Bills and the Patriots, obviously the Jets and the Dolphins, well, we're not going to pay attention to the Jets and the Dolphins, but it's obviously the Patriots and the Bills. I do think that the Patriots right now have a smoother coaching on both offense and defense, right? On both sides of the ball, and you're not integrating a new coach and all of that type of stuff on both sides of the ball, really, for the Bills now. And I do think that it's fair to say that the Patriots have earned the right to say that they're a better run team. They can make better decisions in the offseason, the draft, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, the Buffalo Bills do have Josh Allen. They do have the best quarterback in the NFL. And they have a monster. My biggest concern, my biggest question mark around the Buffalo Bills is, can Josh Allen continue to be that Superman physically? Because over these last couple of years, we've seen his body now take a beating. his hand, his wrist, his knee, his foot, you know? I mean, like they were talking about like, oh, Drake May his shoulder, but he doesn't need surgery. It's like Josh Allen needed surgery on his foot. Let me be the one to tell you as the guy who's been injured a million times. I always say that, and sorry, don't mean to keep repeating that, but like, surgery is a last resort. Any real doctor, and I believe that Josh Allen is seeing legit world-class surgeons here and doctors like, you don't want to do surgery. You want to avoid it at all costs. You want to just let your body do the healing. That's why LeBron James went to the LeBron James of ankle doctors or whatever. I forget what he, however he phrased it, if it was his ankle or foot or whatever. And they were like, don't do surgery, like just wait. And it's because you don't want that. You don't want to cut your body open. You don't want to dig in there causing all that scar tissue and inflammation and whatnot. Like, it's hard. You are ripping your body open. You don't just casually do it. And any real doctor is going to be more of a last resort. And so Josh Allen had surgery. Okay, it's a real thing that happened to him. And, I don't know what Brew is talking about right now, talking about Sean McDermott holding that defense together. That defense has been a major liability in the biggest moments, especially the playoffs. I don't care about them shutting down the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. That means nothing to me. But their defense was a joke against the Denver Broncos. A joke. So, yeah, getting a new defensive coach in there that can actually cause some problems. Yeah, how about that? So that I am anticipating an upgrade. The issue with Brady and whatnot being a new off, we've seen new, old coordinators not work out. He's already worked with Josh Allen for years now, and he's been in the building with the Buffalo Bills. That transition is not going to be hard. Even if he's not the best head coach, and he's not the best at talking to the media, and doing this and doing that, it's not the same thing as a coordinator who had success with, say, a Josh Allen, and now goes to, the Carolina Panthers, who now just drafted a quarterback. And the owner is a little weird, and the roster is a mess, and you're like, okay, well, he wasn't, that co-coordinator wasn't as good now as he was in Buffalo. It's like, yeah, it's a very specific situation that coordinator just got thrown into. That is not the case with Brady and the Buffalo Bills right now at all. There's no chemistry that he needs to build with Josh Allen. There's no newness with the offense in that regard. Is there some newness of him now having to be able to, now like call timeouts and also call plays and all that? For sure. For sure. Is it going to be the smoothest of sailing right off the bat? Probably not. But the chances that it's like an absolute nosedive where you're just like, oh my God, he just can't handle this. This is a disaster. I find that hard to believe. Again, it's one thing if he was poised to go to Las Vegas and now they're drafting a new quarterback and they have to rebuild the roster and it's like all this type of stuff. Yeah, that's a lot harder, but it's different. Clint Kubiak has his work cut out for him way more than Brady does. Just a fact. So I'm not as concerned about that. If anything, it's more the optimism that like, okay, you're now hiring a defensive coordinator. You're going to be able to be better on defense now that you also have an offensive head coach. Brady working with management, ownership, GM, whatever, however you want to define it. They're going to make better moves offensively, whether it be free agency, whatever it may be. Like those are things that you're going to be optimistic about, and it's kind of a wait and see situation. I do believe this roster needs to get better. I do believe the defense needs to get better and the offense needs to get better. I think they need to get better on both sides of the ball. And I'm excited to see what that looks like. But right now, when you have some question marks and it's not obvious that either team, because if you're looking at the Patriots and you're looking at the Bills, there's no clear path where either team's going to obviously get better. Where you're like, well, we know the Bills are drafting, their top 10 picks, so we know that they're going to take, this left tackle now, and now their O-line is clearly going to be way better than it was, whatever it may be. Like, there is no glaring move there that we know both teams are going to necessarily make. And so when both teams are kind of like, okay, what are they going to do this offseason to get better? Are they going to draft this? Are they going to do that? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? There's no obvious reasons why. and there's no obvious reasons why one team is going to get worse, as in so-and-so is retiring, or yeah, so-and-so had a great year, but like he's 34 now, his body's breaking down. You know what? Whatever it may be, you don't have that. And so, yeah, it makes sense that the Bills are going to be favorite because you've seen it. You've seen the level of consistency year after year after year, but those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? I actually wish the Bills weren't favored so I could prove the lack of bias and lack of consistency, or my consistency and the lack of consistency of others, because I wouldn't have been like, this is so disrespectful. How dare they make Josh Allen not favored, you know, which is what we saw Nick do every single year and every single week with the Mahomes. This is a disgrace. How are the Chiefs not favored against the Bills on the road? And it was like, I don't know, man, because the Bills are the better team. Like, I don't know what to tell you because Josh Allen's playing better than Patrick Mahomes. This is so disrespectful. This is bulletin board material. And it's like, okay, sure, but let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get to some discussions, let's get some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see a part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. So it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. Seeing yourself.